Hi creative friends, this is Soraya and thank you so much for being here. So I left this alone for a few days and honestly I feel like I could just let it be because I'm really loving the way this spread turned out, but I still feel that I want to add a little bit more to it. So I don't know if this is a good decision or not, because maybe I'll come in here and completely just, mess it up. Although there is no messing things up, there are no mistakes. The only reason I'm working in a book like this is to learn. So even the so-called missteps and mistakes, they are actually great learning tools. So before I begin, I just wanted to address a few questions that I have received, particularly about this book. So the artist who made this book, Connie Solera, she specifically had this book printed up to work in this way. So this book over here was her art journal, and she was actually working over top of another book. It wasn't an artsy book like with paintings on it, but it was a photography book and it's called Colors, and I will list that below. Now I did talk about this when I very first started working in this book and recording it. So I went into detail about the way Connie worked on this and what her intentions were, etc. So the pages of this book are not glossy. They are very high quality, and I know on her Instagram account she talked about the lengths that she went to make sure that this was like a really high quality paper, so you can work over top of it. Like, this was the main purpose of her printing up these art journals of hers and then selling them, was so other artists can work over top of it and incorporate her images into our own work. So these pages are great quality. They're not glossy. They're going to take lots of different layers, mixed media, etc. And if you're concerned about working in a book like this because you don't want to destroy the images or something like that. I had those very same fears, believe me, because I was like, oh my God, like how on earth am I going to work over top of this? But when I reached out to Connie, she said that, look at it as a way of me collaborating with the artist. So once I kind of reframed that, I looked at it as a huge privilege. Like, I'm actually collaborating with Connie. I mean, how amazing is that? So, I just wanted to address that. Also, sometimes people will like go to my links for my art products and it doesn't show up, and I think what's going on is that my links lead to Dick Blick, and if you're overseas, if you're like say in a place that doesn't have Dick Blick, because Dick Blick is an American company, then maybe it's not going to go through, and in which case I would just recommend that you copy and paste those products and try to get them in a place maybe that's more local, or even I don't know, like go to an art supply store, etc. So those were just a couple of questions and concerns that I wanted to address, but let me just dive right in here. So I'm not sure if the camera can pick up on these colors. This is actually a blue and orange combo over here. Now I watch all my videos before I post them, and the camera isn't really picking up the fact that it's blue, but it is in fact blue. And this is like one of my all-time favorite color combinations. And I'm wondering, like, I did repeat it over here, and I'm wondering if I need to repeat it over here. Now, one of the things I did learn in my last video of this very same spread is that Connie is not repeating her colors, and that is something I had always learned, like repeat your lines or marks or colors because it keeps your eye moving around the page. Now she doesn't do that. I replicated that blue and orange. She did not. So that is something I am keeping in mind. Anyways, I'm just babbling on, you guys. I'm gonna get right into working on this spread. So what I want to do is I just want to kind of like use my Posca marker and kind of just make some lines over here. And now what I want to do is I am going to introduce some oil pastels. I'm just kind of feeling it. And I'm going to use my cheaper brand. I might use my Senneliers, but I'm going to save that for last. And what I want to do here is just kind of like blend this in a little bit. And you guys, I just also want to reiterate, and I've mentioned this a few times, you don't have to work in Connie's book, because I did get a few comments that, you know, this book was very pricey. It is about $70 or $75. Now, I want to say that when I first bought it, it was when Connie first put it on for sale, and I paid like about $125 or $130 because, you know, there was shipping, etc., etc. And I just want to say that it was 150% worth it to me, and I'm actually considering buying another one for when I work through all the pages and just you know, just working through the pages again. So, you know, for me it's worth it, but you guys do not have to work in this particular book. You can just go to the thrift store and pick a book that resonates with you. I would just recommend that the pages not be glossy, and also too, pick a book that has high quality paper so that you can put many layers on it. And also, you know, pick a book that's going to challenge you. Like, sure, the book needs to speak to you, but you should not love every single image. Like, some images should make you uncomfortable, they should repel you even, and they should be, you know, not your visual language, because you want to stretch yourself. Like, you want to learn how to kind of use somebody else's visual language and incorporate that into your own. You don't want it to always be comfortable, is my point. Another thing when I work in a book like this is I tend to just go, you know, randomly. Like, I don't work in sequence. So when I'm done on this spread, see, I already, you know, put some figures on here. I'll just randomly go, you know, let me see what page I want to work on. I don't go in sequence, but, you know, you can if you want to. It's totally up to you. There's really no right or wrong way to work in a book like this. Like, you can even turn it upside down, turn it sideways. I mean, you know, the sky's the limit on how you want to work. Now let me see here. I think I want to kind of like just kind of show that this is a lady over here, because there's blue and blue, so I just want to make this kind of apparent, the difference between the lady and the background. And let me see here. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of color here. And you guys, I just love oil pastels for the luminosity it can give you. It's just really such a luscious addition to mixed media. Like, look at that. And over here, I think I'm just gonna bring in some of my Posca markers here just for the lines and marks and interest. Now this is just a regular Sharpie pen, and some of these pens are not going to go over everything because, I mean, there's paints here, there's a whole bunch of mixed media stuff, and so, you know, these Pitt pens, P-I-T-T by Faber-Castell, they are really great to go over mixed media. Now this is my Stabilo pencil, and I think I'm just gonna leave those marks there. I kind of actually really like them. They just kind of give some interest to the hair. I think I'm gonna give her some features, and I was making up a story in my mind when I first started creating these figures, and the story is that you know, this is the lady, and then this is like a dream or a memory or something like that. So I don't think I'm gonna give these two figures faces, but I think I'm gonna give her a face. And that's gonna kind of create some interest as well. And this is just what I do, you guys. I'm always like talking to myself and like making up these stories in my art journal because, I don't know, I just like doing that. But you most certainly don't have to do that. I'm not gonna go like too fussy with the face. And you guys, I think I am done with this, and I'm really loving it. I'm happy with it, and I I just am really loving the way it turned out. So if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.